If you want to know how I turned this into this, stick around and find out. So I bought this at Michael's when it was on sale. So cute. I believe it's made out of ceramic. I do a base coat of toffee on it. I do 2 coats to make sure that it is good and covered. And then I take fawn and a little bit of sable brown, mix those 2 together to do a little bit of the dark underneath the mushroom part of the cap of the mushroom. Then I will dry brush that same concoction onto the dried base coat. I'm just trying to have the texture of this to come out because it does look like tree, you know, or a mushroom. I do take light mocha and do a dry brush on it as well. So now I am doing my old floating technique where I will take that mixture and put it around all of the doors, the windows, everything like that, just to make that pop. I'll take that same mixture, add a little bit more of the sable brown into it to paint the doors and the window frames. This turned out too cute. I love it so much. I will dry brush again. I used a lot of dry brushing technique because working not only with doing my folk art or whatever, also painting miniatures, kind of using both techniques has helped me to paint this, and I thought it looked so cute. I take just all the different colors to make the stone work, and I take yellow for the windows, golden straw actually for the windows, and then I'm taking festive or foliage green rather to put onto the vines, and then I will take medium light or medium Hauser and do the vines and do the shadow work where the leaves cross over, and then again D&D doing my dice. I just take this dark color, put it on, and then use my fingers to kind of wipe it into the crevices of the leaves. I think it turned out too cute. I use watermelon splice to paint the top red. At first I was going to paint the whole mushroom, the plum, black plum, but I was like, you know what, I think I want it to look more like this is another mushroom coming out of a mushroom. So I end up wiping it off with a baby wipe. It was still wet, so it was easily came off, and then I went ahead and painted it the same way that I painted the main body, using the same colors and the same technique to do that. I will use Tuscan red and go around to kind of set, you know, it just helps that this to look more 3D-ish than just a flat surface. Again, just using the same techniques that I did before to create the mushroom up at top. A lot of dry brushing going on there. I will dry brush a little bit of baby pink and the cinnamon, or not cinnamon, but water splice to give highlights. I did use that to put dots. I didn't really like that pink color, so I went over that with just plain watermelon splice. And there is what it looks like, and with the light on. This was so much fun to paint. It did not take me long at all to do, probably an hour, hour and a half, and I will cover it with the varnish. So here it is, dried. I do like the gloss varnish. However, when I was putting it on, there were some spots, and I have one here that I didn't cover yet so that you can see, but there were a couple up here, there were a couple on the window that just a small amount, just like that, that came off while I was brushing on the gloss varnish. I think the problem is I didn't seal whatever this is made out of. I don't know if this is plaster or ceramic. I don't know. I think it's ceramic. I thought about putting this on. However, this just says it's for wood, raw wood. So I didn't know if it would work on this. Because I had done a gnome, I had painted a gnome out of the same material. I did 3 coats of the spray protectant on it and, you know, put it outside because it's a gnome. I wanted it outside. And with the weather, the paint has come off. So the paint, the acrylic paint, doesn't really stick to this as well as it maybe should. You know what we probably could have done before I put the varnish on, and I think I will do it the next time I paint something made out of this material, because I have quite a few things. After I paint it, I think I'm going to put it in an oven. Maybe like a 275 oven for maybe 30 minutes, just to bake the paint into the ceramic or whatever this is made out of. I'm going to try that next time. But as you can see, I mean, it was no problem to sit there and cover up the spots. I just need to do that one. And I will go over this with probably 2 coats of the acrylic protected spray. I just wanted to see what the gloss varnish would do, and I think it did a pretty nice job. Like if this was just going to be inside, I would totally just leave it, but I am going to put it outside, but I'm going to have it under my porch. Hopefully there'll be no rain to get on it, but just in case it might, I want to go ahead and give it a good protection because I love it. I think it turned out adorable. I'm going to start on the base, and I use Permastone. If you'd like to see how you mix all of that up, you can check out my garden stone video. I tried to put green acrylic paint in it, but it just didn't quite work. So I went ahead and just used green and painted it. 3 coats, and it turned out just fine. I do have my clay here. I use Primo clay. This is tan and beige together. To create the body, I do like a carrot on both sides to create the shape of his body. And then I just finagle it to the shape that I would like it to be. Now, I did follow a tutorial on how to do this, and I'll link it down below because, you know, I am a newbie at clay, but I love it. Now, I'm going to work on his face, and I kind of like indent his face where his eyes are at, and to me he looks like a little alien, but I love him so much. When I ended up doing that, I just think it's just so cute, but it helps to inset his eyes, you know, so that the eyes will look, you know, like eyes instead of just black dots put in there. I will use black clay. I didn't feel like this was enough clay, so I will add more. You don't see it in the video, but I do add more black clay on top of this black to make big eyes like that. That's what I wanted, and I want him to have cute, big eyes. Now, he did get a little dirty, but don't worry if that happens, because you can take alcohol and rubbing alcohol and clean the clay, which is what I ended up doing. But I use this tool to create his little mouth, just a little slit with little, you know, upturned little hellosies there. And I will end up using another tool to kind of define it a little bit better, and to use that to create his nostrils. So it was too cute. Oh my gosh, he turns out cute. I take the other small little balls of the same color and they kind of look like a little bit of like a mushroom to put as his antenna. Now, I do not use baking clay on him because this clay was already sticky enough that I felt like it didn't need it. But probably in hindsight, for his antennas, I probably should have. But so far, he's doing fine, and you know, the antennas are sticking on. But next time I probably would put a little bit of the baking clay, the translucent baking clay, to help adhere it a little bit better. But I make the antenna, and then I kind of tweak them to make them look cute. I use my soft pastels with this makeup brush. that worked really, really well to put the little blush on him. Now I'm going to be making his shell. I take all these colors and I make logs out of them, little snakes, and I make sure that they're pretty much the same length. Now you only have one chance to do this because they will mix, and you don't want to move them too much or they will not be a swirl. They'll be more of a mixture, which is not what I wanted. I wanted it to be a swirl. So I kind of swirl them together like this, then I put them down and then kind of do a two-handed, like one hand goes one way, one hand goes the other to kind of twist it. And then I'll just keep using that technique, even picking it up on the one end because I wanted one end to have more twist than the other. I wanted it to be kind of very narrow on one end and then fatter on the other. And then I will just end up twisting it up or twisting it around, but I make sure that it is on top of the log as I'm moving it around so that it will turn out to look like a shell. And again, I did not use any baking clay or translucent baking clay on it. I just felt like it didn't need it. It was very sticky where it would adhere to the snail. I will be making 3 sets of grass with flowers. And I use just green clay to do so. I make like lumps and then painstakingly make like little bitty blades of grass and put it all over the lump of greenery. This was painstakingly. It took a long time, but it turned out so cute. I will take other clay and make very, very tiny, tiny, tiny little balls, 5 little balls, and I'll make that into a circle so it will end up being a flower. And then I will do a middle piece, kind of squish it down just a little, not too much. I didn't want to lose the structure of it. And then that will be my flower, and I will put it on. So cute. And I will put UV resin on all of these pieces after I bake them to, you know, get them good and sealed. I did use mica to put on white clay, and that is what it looked like. It was so beautiful. Highly recommend. And this is what it looked like. If y'all enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe if you've not already. I would appreciate it. It will just support my channel. All right, y'all be good to one another. See you next week. Bye.